Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of I Heard That. This is the unofficial checks and balances show for the herd with Colin Cowherd. Now, he doesn't have an official quote-unquote co-host. Yes, I know he has Joy, but he doesn't have anybody sparring with him regularly on these topics. Today, we're going to be talking about Tom Brady. Where is he going to go in free agency? I'm a big fan of the herd, but as he's progressed in his career, once he's gotten older, as he's progressed in his career, there's a difference in thought. I think he does a really good job of putting himself into the mindset of GMs and players and where they're going to go. Everything. I'm very complimentary of him towards that, but he does go back and forth between opinions every now and then, which is fine. I don't mind changing opinion, but what's interesting about this Tom Brady situation? He came out on yesterday's show. And he said that he is now decided that Tom Brady, he's basically put the pie chart. Tom Brady, 98% chance he's re-signing in New England, a 1% chance he shocks somebody and goes somewhere else, and a 1% chance that he's going to go with the Tennessee Titans. So before I grade this between Coastal Colin, which is the tofu sushi Colin, the foo-foo, the guy that name drops and I don't think is necessarily as dialed in and as hungry as he was early in his career, and vintage Colin, the herd that I kind of came up with and listened to quite regularly when he was at the other network. So let me kind of break this down, though. Tom Brady, as I see it, Tom Brady's not after money. He's got Giselle. He's got a fantastically beautiful wife, a beautiful family. He's making enough money, right? Can he go out and make 60 or 90 million? Yeah. Can he get a team that wants to sell tickets to commit to maybe 3 years and a lot of guaranteed money? Yeah, he can do that. But this is Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not looking for money. He's looking for respect. Yes, respect. So he wants the Patriots organization and maybe specifically Bill Belichick to respect him a little bit more. So I think he's holding New England's feet to the fire a little bit. But I don't think he's going to leave the Patriots. Think about this. Tom Brady's going to go somewhere. Where does he want, right? He wants a team that has an infrastructure in place. He wants a team that's stable, from top to the bottom at the organization. Remember, he came up with the Kraft and Belichick. That's the only organization he's known. You know how rare that it is. Rare that is. It's crazy. So he's looking for organizational stability. He's looking for a solid head coach, solid offensive system. He's looking for support, and when I mean support, I mean offensive line, receivers, running backs, offensive support, and he's looking for a clear path to the Super Bowl. He's not going to leave the Patriots, who went, what are they, 12-4 last year. A 3 seed could have had a first round bye last year in the playoffs. He's not going to leave that organization to be fighting to make the playoffs or not to have a clear path to the Super Bowl. So he needs to go to a couple of different places, right? And there's very few. I'm going to reel off the teams that I've heard him connected to, and a couple of teams that, whether or not I've heard them connected to, that I think would actually be an interesting fit for him, right? But let me just read off the names and why they're not going to work. The Oakland Raiders, right? Good coaching staff. Is the organization stable? I don't know. You could make the argument. I mean, certainly they're trending upward, and I think the Raiders are a nice team. But you're going to leave Julian Edelman, that system, for Terrell Williams and Josh Jacobs. The offensive line for Oakland was last year, but then again, to be fair to Oakland, I studied them quite a bit. They did have a lot of injuries on that offensive line. I do think they're trending up. Hunter Renfrow, yes, he could be maybe that Julian Edelman type guy for Tom Brady, but he's not going to go there. He's not going to go there. The Chargers, interesting team. For me, I think I'd be the most interested in that, right? Get back out to California. Nice weather. You have a team that plays really strong defense, just like he's used to in New England as of late. You have, I think Gordon will be gone, but Eckler should still be there. He's only a restricted free agent. You have Keenan Allen. You have Mike Thomas, who's kind of an interesting, intriguing player to trend upward next year, and I'll tell you why when I get more into the fantasy football stuff. Hunter Henry at tight end. That's an interesting personnel, package. I'm not as convinced that the head coach there is as strong as he's used to, but let's think about this. He's got to deal with Patrick Mahomes. Is that a clear shot to the Super Bowl? No, it's not. I'm sorry. You're wild card at best at that point. He's not going to want to compete with Patrick Mahomes with those other teams. It's not going to happen. I don't think he's going to go to the NFC, but let me throw a couple teams out that, again, either linked or I think would be interesting fits. Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy, look, he had the athletic Aaron Rodgers, right? I don't think that the Dallas Cowboys are really going to be in the mix, and I don't think anybody else does either. Now, the argument is, do you pay Dak Prescott 35 or do you pay Tom Brady for a couple of years 30? I don't know if I like either one of those options, but Dallas, it's not going to happen, even with that strong offensive line. I just don't think it's really a system fit for him. I think I haven't heard him linked. He could be, but Chicago Bears is an interesting one to me, just because you do have a head coach that's respected in terms of play calling. You have a strong defense. The organization there, I'm not loving pace at GM, but they do have some stability. The McCaskey family is one of the old kind of football families, of course, coming from the House family. So that's an interesting one, but not going to happen. Tampa Bay is an interesting one. I think that this offense is ready to go. I mean, they need to fix the pass defense, but that run defense last year was spectacular. Everybody's kind of missing out on that. Although when the pass defense is as bad as it was, why would anybody ever run? Tampa Bay's trending upward, and I think this team would be actually a very strong team if you didn't throw 30 interceptions a year. So the downfield passing game, yes, but what does that do? That leaves Brady more susceptible to hits. Brady likes to get the ball out quick, so I don't think that's a really great fit either. So the two teams that I think are really possibilities, two AFC teams, actually two AFC South teams, the Indianapolis Colts. I don't love the Irsay ownership. I think he's getting a little squirrely in his old age. But you have T.Y. Hilton. You have some interesting wide receivers there. You still have Jack Doyle at tight end. You have Mack and a couple of decent running backs there. And you have a coach in Frank Reich that's very well respected. I do think that would be an interesting fit. Indianapolis, I think it would be great for them too, because I believe if Tom Brady went there, they'd probably be at the top of the division for me, with how well this team is coached and how well they play and how much talent that they've accumulated in the last couple of years. But I don't think that's likely. I would give that a 0.1, not a 1%, a 0.1% chance. The Titans is the more interesting one to me. Although, honestly, if I'm the Titans, like, I get it from ownership, I get it from a ticket sales point of view, but I'd rather have 5 to 10 years of Tannehill than 2 to 3 of Tom Brady at this point. I really would. Now, it's 6 on one, half a dozen on the other. I think the Titans are the most interesting thing because, again, I think the Titans are the best team in this division anyway with Tannehill. You put Brady on that team, Brady can get rid of the ball a little quicker. He can utilize Adam Humphries maybe a little bit more than he was. You have Jonnu Smith coming up at tight end. You have A.J. Brown, who's asserted it himself. And you have Vrabel at head coach, who's obviously a little familiar with Tom Brady, given that they won a couple Super Bowls together, right? So that one's more interesting. I give that one a 0.4% chance that he goes to Tennessee and a 99.5% chance that he remains with the New England Patriots. Look, guys, everybody's freaking out about Tom Brady. And is he trending backward and all that stuff? If the Patriots traded Jimmy Garoppolo, who they were convinced that he could have been a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, which we've seen is actually the case this year because he made it. And I'm not even going to talk about the performance and the criticism. We're not going to go there on this episode. If you trade as an organization Jimmy Garoppolo to San Francisco for a second-round pick to keep Tom Brady, do you think that this organization is really going to go out and say, okay, well, let me see. So like if he goes to the Titans, am I going to sign Ryan Tannehill? Am I going to sign Teddy Bridgewater? Am I going to sign all these other guys? No. New England's not going to. Are they going to go into the season with Stidham? Are they going to try to trade up in the draft to get one of these quarterbacks or maybe sit back and draft it? No, they're not going to do that. It doesn't make any sense for the Patriots to go that much backward. And as I said to Pat Lane, who I had on one of my podcasts this week, Pat Lane of the Patriots Nation podcast and the Pat's Pulpit, that's a lot of P's there. As I said to him, look, everybody's freaking out about his performance, but dude, like he didn't have any receivers last year. Antonio Brown and Josh Gordon played like a combined 7 quarters between them. Gronk retired too late in the offseason for them to do anything at the position. If you give him one top flight receiver, if you give him one tight end, he's going to be just fine. He still threw for over 4,000 yards. He still did quite well. I mean, this offense, as much as it was reported, this is hive mind. This is press clickbait stuff. The offense was fine. They just needed a couple more weapons, and unfortunately, and they had injuries on the offensive line. There were a lot of problems out there. Did Tom Brady miss some throws that he otherwise could have made maybe when he was younger? Sure. But I still would argue that he's definitely a top half of the league, but maybe even a top 10 quarterback, which we'll get into next week as well. The Patriots, 12-4. This is an offensive system that everybody says, well, we can't find a receiver because the offense is too complicated. Okay, so you're going to go to Stidham, you're going to go to Bridgewater, you're going to give this complicated offense to a new... Come on, man. The only guy that can run this offense is Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, the only system that's really... They're the best chance for him to get back to a Super Bowl is New England. It's going to happen. He's going to be there. So Patriots fans, breathe a sigh of relief. NFL... Look, if you want to have articles and clickbait and all that, so I guess this is one of them, right? You can say that, but Tom Brady's going to go back to the Patriots, okay? So this take from the herd, although he was kind of going back and forth, he was risking that Coastal Colin, that thumbs down designation. I am grading his take. Vintage herd, thumbs up for me. Tom Brady will be back. It'll be interesting. It'll be nice theater. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, they'll hug and make up. Maybe they'll smooch each other on the cheek. Maybe not. But he'll be back there. They'll take another run, and they'll see if they can stock up some pieces and try to take down the Chiefs and the Ravens, who are kind of coming into the season. And by the way, spoiler alert, Pittsburgh is going to be very interesting with Ben Roethlisberger back as well. With what that defense did this year, don't sleep on them either. Going to be very, very interesting. I can't wait for 2020. Let's get that CBA signed. Okay, let's get that collective bargaining agreement signed and ratified ASAP so we can just move into off-season analysis, right? So everybody, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're going to be doing these basically on a daily cadence. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll catch you in another episode soon. Thanks.